Hey guys, what's up? This is Hex, and in today's video for ESO for Beginners, I want to be talking a bit about public events. Now, public events are events that crop up that anybody can participate in. It doesn't matter what level you are, what character you are, or, well, class, or how much experience you have. Everybody is free to participate in. You don't even actually even have to have a group. Even though there are people there, of course, you don't have to group up. Just everybody has a common goal, which is, to defeat that public event, and get loot out of it. Now, if we go to the map, the first common one that you'll see quite often is world bosses. Now, I'm not going to explain what world bosses are, because I did talk about that in I think it was a couple of videos ago on a segment talking about maps. So if you want to know exactly what world bosses are, I would consult that video. Another common one are Dolmens and Geysers, which are a bit different, but they have the kind of same mechanics to it. And this is the icon actually for both. You're not going to see Dolmens, or Dark Anchors as they're also known as, or geysers everywhere. They're usually in particular places, like for example the base story game, the lands that you travel there, you'll find the Dark Anchors. Geysers will only be located in Somerset, so that's just something to keep in mind. Now the other big public event is dragons, which, if you look at the previous video, the footage for that, where you see my character, fighting dragons, that's an example of a public event. That all you basically do is just fight the dragon and any kind of ads that are fighting alongside it to get gold, and that is usually identified by a dragon icon, which I don't think it's in the legend. No, it's not, but I mean, it's real easy to see, when you're on the map and you see like this dragon looking icon just kind of moving around. That's a dragon. Now there are a couple of what I call mini public events that show up that are not on the map, and they basically show up in the same area, so if you find them, you can just keep going back to them, though the times vary. And those are ones. They have one that's like a rift that opens up into the sky, and you have these NPCs tumble out, and you have to beat them. I think there are like 2 waves that you have to beat, in order to get your loot. And the other one is where you have this random sorcerer slash sorceress that are opening up a portal to oblivion for whatever messed up reason, and they kind of get overwhelmed with creatures, and you have to go and kind of bail their ass out. But what I'm going to do now is give you an example of what a dolmen looks like, and what are the steps to actually beating that. And like I said, geyser is kind of similar to it, so I'm not going to show you what a geyser is, but you'll get the gist of it. If you come to a geyser, you'll be like, oh, this is kind of similar to what a Dark Anchor is. Okay, so we're standing at a dolmen right now, and as you can see, the bad guys are already starting to pop up and what they're going to do is make a sacrifice to open up the portal to Cold Harbor. You can break that up right then and there, and it'll start the event, or you can just let it go. But I'm going to sit here and just kind of sit back, and that way you can see, what it looks like, when it starts. That way you get that full sense of scale. And it is pretty cool. I never get tired of seeing this each time I do one of these. Now, a good question that people will often ask is like, well, how often do these public events occur? Well, it used to be for dolmens, they used to occur every 5 minutes. I don't know if that's still the same or not. I haven't really tried to time it. But other events, they just vary, and you will be waiting quite a long time for them. And my suggestion is, if you're waiting for something to happen, or waiting for people to show up, just kind of run around the area, kill other monsters, get treasure or whatever. Just kind of explore the area until the public event actually starts. I mean, you don't have to be right on top of an event for it to actually start. So essentially what you're doing in a dolmen is you're just trying to kill all these waves of enemies, and their essence fills up these dark pinions that will be running along the outer edge of this circle, and you'll see it here in a minute. And I'm not for sure how many enemies it takes to fill it up. Honestly, I've never really kept track of that, but it does take a few enemies to actually open up an anchor pinion. And once it does, it gives you you just walk up to it if you're not being attacked. Walk up to it to hit X to, or excuse me, press X to destroy it. And there's not really a lot of people on this particular one right now, because usually it's more packed than this. And I've seen it before where it's been so packed that you can't tell like who's who. Like you can't tell your fellow adventurers from the enemy. So it does get a little bit crazy and hectic. But I think this one right here might be the final one. I could be wrong, unless there was another one. Yeah, I think there's another one somebody needs to get. Yeah, that's the last one. So what happens here is a boss will come down. He'll either be a normal boss or a name boss. Name bosses are much tougher, so that's something to be aware of. And you will get achievements for that if you beat name bosses. Now, what you want to do is inflict as much damage as you can on a boss. Once you do that, you can collect the rewards from that. And of course, once you beat the ads that are running around here, there's going to be a final anchor pinion that appears.
This will not finish me.
And then once somebody destroys that, you're going to get a secondary reward, which is your chest. And these chests will appear every time, so it's not like the old days where it was like from time to time it would pop up. Now, on a side note, you'll see it's talking about empty soul gems. My advice for any new player is to get the soul gem skill line, and the reason for that, it will save you money in the long run, because if you find empty soul gems, you can use that skill line to fill up the soul gem. That, I mean, you can buy soul gems, but you know, if you're trying to save up money for like a mount or whatever, you know, having like that soul gem skill line will go a long way to, you know, saving you gold. That way you can, you know, have enough money to buy what you need to buy. Now we're coming up right now to like a mini, what I call a mini public event, and as you can see, there's a rift out in the sky, and there's already bad guys right there. And this will consist of 2 waves. And yeah, there's me getting my ass knocked down. First wave is not too bad. But the second wave is a little bit stronger because you have like some bosses, not overly difficult bosses, but you know, bosses just the same. And of course, like anything else, you're gonna get your experience and your gold, for beating these guys. Well, that's all I wanted to talk to you guys for today. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I hope to talk to you guys real soon. Take care.